And that's the football game. So the game ends on a loose ball, and Lafayette on Parents' Day here at Fisher Field picks up its fourth consecutive victory of the season, beating the University of Maine 17-0. The story of the day was the defense, denying Maine the touchdown or the field goal. 2 touchdowns by Williams, and a field goal by Millar was the scoring. And so until next week, when Lafayette will host Bucknell in attempting their 5th straight victory of the season, we'd like to wish you the very best, and we're signing off.
In the basis of number of games played, Shel Siegel and Jerry Berger all set to bring you all the play-by-play of local college football. Siegel and Jerry Berger all set to bring you all the play-by-play of local college football.
Major funding for today's telecast is made possible by Banco Beverage Company, Allentown, Pennsylvania, and by Stroh's, one of America's premium beers from Detroit, Michigan, and brewed locally in the Lehigh Valley. Additional funding was provided by Deal Mayflower Moving and Storage Company, moving specialists for home, office, and industry. Asgo Manufacturing, bulk material flow aid specialists, manufacturers of industrial hose, belting, urethanes, and plastics for industry, municipalities, and the mining communities throughout the United States. First Valley Bank, serving the financial needs of northeastern Pennsylvania. Lehigh University and the Lehigh University Alumni Association. Lafayette College and Channel 39 membership contributions as a public service to friends of the colleges and to their alumni everywhere.
Okay, the game just underway in the opening kickoff, and Lehigh with the ball, the first running play. The ball carried across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Okay. Lehigh University has the ball at the 22-yard line. Rolling out to the right. First pass play of the game coming up, and it's in and out of the hands of the intended receiver for Lehigh University, and that was Don LaSalva. And so it falls incomplete, and it's a 3rd down and 9 situation. Quarterback for Lehigh University is Semler in the ball game. Matty Horn not starting for Lehigh today. There's his statistics going into the ball game.
Semler with a long pass.
And it is intercepted by Lafayette.
That's Bob Shar, Shell. Bob Shar is the senior safety from Phillipsburg, New Jersey.
And so the first interception of the ball game for Lafayette College, and the Leopards take over on their own 39-yard line. Game just underway. Lafayette. Quarterback for Lafayette is Frank Novak, a 6'2", 190-pound junior from Leominster, Maryland. Set a Lafayette passing record this season. Ball at the 39-yard line. Ball is handed off to Craig Williams. Tries the left side of the Lehigh line and has a couple of yards.
That was Nick Kuyos, Shell. Nick is 30 yards shy of 1,000 yards going into this game today.
Lafayette starting backfield has Novak at quarterback, Kuyos at halfback, Craig Williams at fullback, and the flanker is Jack Gatehouse. Second down and 7. High formation. Novak is the quarterback for the Leopards. Back for the first Leopard pass of the football game. Pretty good protection. Downfield, open man. Completed 30, 25, 20, 15. Pass completed to Gatehouse. Jack Gatehouse took the ball at the 30 and brings it all the way down inside the Lehigh University 20.
Shell Jack Gatehouse, the senior wide receiver, has 45 receptions this year. Here we see on the replay the fake to Kuyos into the line. Gatehouse was all alone down the right sideline. Oddly enough, Gatehouse played defensive back his first 2 years at Lafayette. Has only been a wide receiver the last 2 seasons.
And so Lafayette College opens up the ball game very quickly. It is a first down and 10 situation for the Leopards. They have the ball at the 13-yard line. Novak is the quarterback. Kuyos trying to drive down, gets down to about the 10-yard line. John Shigo coming in to make the stop for Lehigh. Lehigh defensive team. And moving into the Lehigh defensive linebacking team.
Jerry, I would have to say that the success of Lafayette's running game is going to depend largely on how well they can neutralize John Shigo.
Well, Shigo's definitely an All-American potential, and he's done a great job this year. He's a junior, and we got to see what goes on here.
It is a second down and 7. The ball at the 11-yard line. Novak at quarterback. Inside man is Williams on the eye. Kuyos back deep. Williams has it. He's across the 10. Fights his way. Gets down to about the 7-yard line. Stop made for Lehigh by Shigo again.
Here we see the statistics on Craig Williams, basically used as a blocking back for Nicky Kuyos at the tailback slot.
And so it's a third down and 2 for the Lafayette Leopards at the 6-yard line. Bill Russo coming off another great season as head coach for the Lafayette Leopards. Gatehouse swings in motion, now locks in on the left side of the line. Novak at quarterback at the 6. He's rolling back to pass, finds a man, end zone, Gatehouse, and it is incomplete at the last moment.
Fine defensive play by Mike O'Hagan. Gatehouse had the ball, and O'Hagan took the ball from his arms as he went into the end zone.
And so Lehigh University has at least momentarily held off the Leopard touchdown thrust.
This is
John Whitehead for Lehigh University in his 8th year of coaching for Lehigh. 11:45 remaining in the first quarter. Field goal attempt now for the Leopards to try to put themselves on the board for the first time from the 13-yard line. The kick is good.
That was Mark Petty. 23-yard field goal.
And so Lafayette College draws first blood in the football game on a 23-yard field goal with 11:41 here in the first quarter of play. At Fisher Field, it's Lafayette 3 and Lehigh nothing.
Shell Petty is now 3 for 9 on the season on field goal attempts, 35 for 37 and point after touchdowns. He's scored now 44 points on the season.
You see John Whitehead on the sidelines. He's got to get his defense up. Novak can pick you apart, and he ran the team right down the field. It's been a moral victory, I think, if nothing else, to only get a field goal out of that. Coach Whitehead just signed a new 3-year contract for Lehigh just this past week.
Shell, that scoring drive covered 54 yards and 6 plays.
So Lafayette out in front of Lehigh by a score of 3-0 on the field goal. Ball being teed off by Wilson. Godbolt back on the near side for Lehigh. Kick coming down the field. Ed Godbolt has it at the 6-yard line, up the middle to the 15, cuts inside at the 20, still on his feet and fights his way across the 25-yard line for Lehigh. Good run back by Godbolt, and so Lehigh puts the ball in play, first down and 10, trailing in the game 0-3. Lehigh's offensive line on the screen.
As a veteran offensive line, 4 of 5 of them are seniors.
Lehigh once again brings the team out. Semler is the quarterback for the Engineers. Osler is the inside man. Back to pass goes Semler. Runs out of the pocket, still on his feet. He's to the 25. Fights his way to about the 27-yard line. A gain on the play of 2 yards.
Last week, Semler came into the game in the second half against East Stroudsburg and ran for 68 yards. He's very agile. And at 6'4", he picks up a lot of yards in those long strides.
Defensive pressure applied there by Rich Doverspike, the right tackle.
Tony Semler, of course, from William Allen High School in Allentown, Pennsylvania. 2nd down and 7 for the Engineers. Now they move into a set right. Osler, the inside man. The give is to Godbolt. Swings the right side of the Leopard line. Gets across the 30, up very close to the 35-yard line.
Eddie Godbolt, the senior from Bethlehem.
Wagner coming in to make the stop for Lafayette.
Godbolt had some excellent games these last several weeks, averaging almost 100 yards a game on rushing.
3rd down and 1 now for Lehigh. Lehigh in white. Lafayette leading Lehigh by a score of 3-0 with 5 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Godbolt has the first down. He's across the 35, gets out to about the 37-yard line.
This defense is the area, Shell, where Lafayette has not performed quite as well as they had expected at the beginning of the season. They've allowed close to 20 points a game.
Last year, of course, in this ball game, Lafayette winning by a score of 10-3. On the draw, the ball is handed off to Godbolt again. He gets up, nose at the football, close to the 40-yard line, gets to the 39, a gain on the play of 1. This, of course, the longest series in the history of college football based on the total number of games played. It began back in 1884, and Lafayette holds the edge by 16 games. 9:44 remaining to play here in the first quarter. Lafayette 3, Lehigh nothing on the strength of a 23-yard field goal by Petty. Mark Petty, a sophomore from Arnold, Maryland. Semler airs it out, and it is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. On the play was Davidson for Lehigh. Jim Davidson, the split end.
Broken up nicely by John Marr and middle linebacker Wagner on that play.
This year, of course, Lehigh looking to even up their record at 5-5, and Lafayette looking to win their 7th of the year. 3rd down and 8. 9:28 remaining here in the first quarter. Slot right, LaSalva is in the slot. Fake is to Osler. The give is to Godbolt. He's got some running room. He's across the 45, gets out to the 47-yard line.
Looks like he's about a yard short, Phil.
Stop made again by Wagner. He's been in a couple of good defensive plays. Dave Wagner for Lafayette.
Short handoff to the weak side, away from the split end. Good yardage, but still a yard short.
Good saving tackle there by Wagner to prevent the first down. He's had to fill some big shoes in the absence of Joe Splodani and George Wilson, who graduated last year.
It's Mike O'Hagan back in the punt formation for Lehigh.
Lafayette has double safeties back on their 15-yard line. Ball picked up at the 20, 25. Ball carried all the way out over the 25-yard line for Lafayette by Green. Tony Green bringing it back.
That was Darrell Green, Shell, the freshman running back. He and Ryan Priest have really added a nice dimension to the Leopards in their punt and kickoff returns this year. Here we can see the points scored per game. Lafayette has had a very high-powered offense this season.
8:38 remaining here in the first quarter. Lafayette out in front by a score of 3-0 on the strength of a 23-yard field goal by Mark Petty. Second man throw is Cuyos. He has a little room. He's across the 30, gets out to the 34-yard line.
Jim Saratelli on the tackle, one of the really fine junior linebackers at Lehigh. Matter of fact, all 3 starting linebackers are underclassmen this year.
Ed Lafayette has really racked up the points in the second period of games this year. 106 second quarter points for the Leopards. Ball is carried by Williams, gets up close to the 40-yard line. It looks like it'll still be shy of the first down by a couple of yards.
Craig Williams, known to players and fans at Lafayette as the human thigh, has carried the ball 86 times this year for 408 yards. Most of Lafayette's strength really rests with quarterback Frank Novak. Frank is the nation's leading passer in passing efficiency, averaging 242 yards per game in the air.
3rd down and 1. Novak has the team out. In the eye, Kuyos tries to vault over, and he may have been stopped. He only needed a yard. It'll be very close at the 39-yard line.
Fine defensive play by the middle of the Lehigh line.
Nick Kuyos trying to ride the back of his offensive guard tackle, and he does have enough, it looks like, for the 1st down, and so the Leopards have picked it up at the 40-yard line.
I don't know how they did that one without a measurement. Looked awful close from here.
Leopards out again. 7 minutes, 10 seconds remaining here in the 1st quarter. Lafayette 3 and Lehigh nothing. Novak back to air it out again. Got a lot of time. Throws downfield, and it is intercepted by Lehigh on the way back with Talmadge. And he brings the ball back around the midfield mark, and it'll be spotted at the 44-yard line.
That's Blair Talmadge's 5th interception of the year. He's a sophomore out of Germantown Academy.
Frank Novak, despite his fine statistics this year, has been plagued by 10 interceptions. This is 11th of the season now.
Big break for Lehigh.
Pass was intended for Jack Gatehouse. Ball is at the 44-yard line now. Semler still in directing the team. Ball is given to Osler, and he has a little yardage up to about the 45. 6:44 remaining here in the 1st quarter.
Big John Osler is 225 pounds. He's been used mostly as a blocking bat for Ed Godbolt, but he has had several good rushing games himself.
Very difficult to run right up the middle of Lafayette's line. Tony Green sits right in the center at middle guard, a very effective defensive lineman.
LaSalver is wide out right. Osler, the inside man. Ed Godbolt tries to find some room and gets very little, gets across the 45, gets out to about the 47-yard line. Game officials for today's game, and if you notice the name of that line judge, one of the great All-American backs that played for Navy and Penn during the 40s, Tony Manizzi. Jim Flowers, the clock operator, by the way, has been a clock operator since 1942, and he'll finish his career with the Army-Navy game next week. 5:55 remaining here in the 1st period. Lehigh trailing 0-3 to the Lafayette Leopards. Semler is rolling back, got some time. Now he runs out of it, and he is dropped back on the 35-yard line for a 9-yard loss.
That was the man I just spoke about, Shell, Tony Green. Tremendous pressure right up the middle. There we see Tony, also a state champion power lifter. Here we see on the replay, Tony was on a bit of a stunt, came right through, and got Semler by the ankle.
So now it's a 4th down situation, long yardage. The Engineers will be forced to punt it away from the 23-yard line.
Once again, Ryan Priest and Darryl
from the
Greenseed.
25. Fine punt coming upfield. Drives the Lafayette man back to the 17-yard line, to the 20, and the ball is carried up to about the 24-yard line. A good punt and a decent run back for the Lafayette Leopards. Carrying the ball back is number 21, Green again. He's carried both punts back now for Lafayette. And so the ball is spotted at the 26-yard line. We have 4:57 remaining in the 1st quarter. A 23-yard field goal by Mark Petty for the Lafayette Leopards has given the Leopards the lead 3-0. Gatehouse is out wide to the right. Novak continues to direct the team. Craig Williams, the inside man on the eye. Nick Kuyos back deep. Ball is given to Kuyos, and he trips over his own man as he gets across the 25 out to about the 27. John Shigo in to make the stop for Lehigh. Been a defensive standout all season long for the Engineers.
Going into this game, Coach Russo wanted to be able to exploit the running game a little bit, and you'll look to him to go to the right side over tremendous senior co-captain, offensive tackle Eddie Stahl. Eddie at 6'5", 290 is one of the largest players in Division I AA football.
2nd down and 8. on the option now. The ball is pitched to Cuyos, and the Engineers submarine the play very well. In to make the stop for Lehigh was Talmadge.
Blair Talmadge made the tackle, but the play on the line, Shell, with Luis Ramirez, number 91. Watch him come across, make the quarterback option, and Talmadge is there to make the tackle. Fine defensive play. Lehigh has to get the ball back in good field position to start a momentum of their own right now.
3rd down and 11. 3:46 remaining in the first period. Lafayette 3, Lehigh nothing. Now the Engineers.
We caught up with her at Freddy's in Manhattan, rehearsing her cabaret act.
He will call it in? Is that the way you mean? What do you give me for that? Besides, a lot of trouble. What do you give me? That's right, okay. Isn't that easy? Okay. What's up? And I will come again for his life.
Sellout crowd here for this great rivalry, the 118th game between Lehigh and Lafayette. The Leopards elect once again to come out of the shotgun with Novak back deep again. Looks downfield, up man, he's got it. Gatehouse again inside the 30 to the 29. Tries to break away again, but he's down. Stopped for Lehigh by Mecca.
Lafayette's running their 2 wide receivers to the outside and letting Gatehouse delay over the middle and getting in behind the linebackers.
Here we see they found a nice seam right in the defense, just in front of the safety and behind the linebacker coverage.
2:45 now remaining in the first period, and Gatehouse has been on the end of 3 passes, all complete by Frank Novak. Now the Leopards move back now into the eye with Novak under the center. The fake is to Williams, hands off to Williams, and he gets inside the 30, gets to about the 28-yard line.
Here, Shell, we see the Lafayette record this season. They opened up with 2 losses to Rhode Island and Army. Then seemed to put things together a little better. They had a lot of young players, particularly on defense. And in the last, they've won, of course, the last 4 games and 6 out of the last 7. Particularly impressive game at Princeton, the 47-37 shootout.
2nd down and 8. 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Novak has moved the team very well, mixed up the plays well, runs out of the pocket, still on his feet. Now he's being chased, and he's going to be dropped way back at the 34-yard line.
Doug Pearson on the tackle. Lehigh finally came up with some good coverage downfield, and it forced Novak to hold back, and Pearson came from his outside linebacker's position.
Watch here, it looks like Novak initially looked like an option play, and then he dropped back for the pass. No receivers were open. Excellent downfield coverage by the Lehigh secondary in that play.
So the big loss on the play moves it back to 3rd and 14 for the Leopards, back at the 34-yard line. And once again, Bill Russo elects to bring his team back into the shotgun with Novak standing back at the 40-yard line. Has all day to uncork that ball, and it's just overthrown at the 15-yard line. Good coverage. The Leopards call for interference, but fine Lehigh defensive coverage again by Blair Talmadge.
Carmine DeSantis, the intended receiver, the smallest member of the Lafayette team. Carmine only weighs in at, I don't know what the program says, but he can't be any more than about 160 pounds.
And so it's a 4th and 14, and the Leopards will try to put the Engineers back deep. Leopard punt will come from the Lehigh 45-yard line, aimed for the sideline, and the ball will go out of bounds, and it's anybody's guess where it is. The official's going to mark it at the 2-yard line. I always wondered how they're able to do that.
That was Bob Shar with the old coffin corner punt. He did a nice job on that one.
Jerry, how are they able to do that? As an old football player, you ought to know that ball is about 40 yards in the air. I mean, it's way up there.
When you kick him that close to the end zone, I think there's as much as luck as there is skill, but certainly that's practice, and he put Lehigh in deep trouble. You see Lehigh's schedule on, for 1982 on the board.
Full house backfield now. LaSalma goes in motion. Ball is handed to Godbolt, tries to break out and barely gets back to the 2-yard line.
Very tough place to play football. Getting back to Lehigh's schedule, they're 4-5, but they've lost 5 games by a total of 23 points. And it's probably one of the most deceiving records in 1AA football this year.
Half a minute remaining here in the first quarter of football. 2nd down and 9. Lehigh back deep against their own goalpost, still in the full house backfield. Osalma goes in motion. Trying to run it out. This time, Godball's got a little running room. Gets out to about the 6-yard line.
Be interesting to see here whether Lehigh is willing to challenge the defense.
While we have a moment, we would like to welcome the television viewers in Hershey, Pennsylvania on WITF TV, Channel 33 in Harrisburg, the new home of WITF, and we wish WITF well in their new home in the Harrisburg community. And that is the end of the first quarter of football here at Fisher Field in Easton, and the score at the end of the first quarter is Lafayette 3 and Lehigh nothing. Lehigh and Lafayette, the 118th meeting, and we'll have more football coming up for you in the second period in just a moment. And so, Lehigh University has a 3rd and 6 situation back to their own goal line as the Leopard punt brought it back to the 2-yard line. And Lehigh now will be trying to give a little punting room out there for their men.
It's important Lehigh gets the first down here, Shell, because if they don't, they're going to be punting out of their own end zone and giving Lafayette, again, great field position. And they've... Semler has a big play here to make.
3rd down situation. Back to throw is Semler. He's being chased in the end zone, trying to run on out. Still on his feet, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 7-yard line.
Major funding for today's telecast is made possible by Banco Beverage Company, Allentown, Pennsylvania, and by Stroh's, one of America's premium beers from Detroit, Michigan, and brewed locally in the Lehigh Valley. Additional funding was provided by Deal Mayflower Moving and Storage Company. Moving.
And in just a moment, we'll tell you about the rest of the people who made our football telecast possible in just a moment. And it's a bad pass from center. And the ball is just kicked out, and a miracle punt out of the end zone, and it hits the Lehigh bounce, and it goes all the way back to the Leopard 37-yard line.
Darrell Green did fumble that ball, and if he had not recovered it, that would have been Lehigh ball.
Lehigh cannot believe that wasn't roughing the kicker. But their complaint goes without any question.
Well, unless, I didn't see who was rushing there, but unless he put a hand on the ball, that definitely should have been a roughing the kicker penalty on the Leopard.
Michael Hagan did a great job getting that kicked off.
So the ball is at the 37-yard line as the Lehigh Engineers turned near disaster into a good situation. They forced the Leopards all the way back to their own 37-yard line. On the draw, Williams has a little bit of running room, gets out to about the 37-yard line. Very little gain, maybe a yard.
John Shiga wasn't fooled by the draw, stayed in the middle and made a fine tackle on the line of scrimmage.
Lafayette has still not had much success running the ball today. All their yardage has been gained through the air.
Novak on the carry, got some good running room, gets out over the 40 to about the 45-yard line.
Lehigh had problems with Novak last year because he's able to quickly release the ball as well as run the option extremely well.
Novak has not had much success running the ball. In fact, he has a net minus 61 yards on the year. Most of that, of course, due to quarterback sacks. mostly on the option, he's able to successfully pitch out to Kuyos. Lehigh seems to have that pretty well bottled up today, though.
3rd down and 2. Ball at the 45-yard line. Ball is carried by Kuyos, tries to swing the right side of the line. He's got the first down. He's into Lehigh territory. Across midfield down to about the 46-yard line. Hustled out of bounds by Pearson for the Engineers.
Here we see in the replay, Kuyos off the left side, bounced off.